And now to birds. Today it's all about birds. Why birds?
I have been fascinated with birds for as long as I can remember, really. I think the main thing for me is that they are everywhere. They are omnipresent. Pretty much anywhere you can go and be still, and if there aren't any at the time, within not a very long time at all, you will either see or hear a bird somewhere. They are also, they can do things we can't do. Obviously they can fly, but it's more than that for me. I think you see birds on land, you see birds in the water, you see birds in the sky. We only have access to 2 of those planes without a lot of artificial help. We can get up in the sky, but it's difficult. And I think throughout human history, right back to, sort of Paleolithic times, that's been a deep fascination of, wow, imagine if we could get up there, imagine if we could transit between those planes of existence. Throughout mythology and folklore and modern media, this, the idea of like flying in dreams and, superheroes who can fly, and it's like seen as the perfect superpower, isn't it, to be able to get up there. But it's not, it's not just that they can fly, it's that they move between these planes. And I think from a magical perspective, I think we talk a lot about liminality and being on the edges of things, like, the seasonal turns are liminal times where you're transitioning between one state of being and another. Ritual is a transitioning time when you're from, depending on what type of ritual you do, from being outside the circle to being inside the circle, or from being outside a sacred space to inside, or, and birds do this effortlessly. They move from land to water to the sky, between different environments, and it's all completely effortless, and it feels like you can connect to that ability to transition, to strengthen your own spiritual connection to the times when you need to do that, when you need to move on, when you need to transform, when you need to go on a journey. And I just think birds are symbolic in their own ways, but also a reminder of what we are actually capable of.
Yeah.
When we connect to our spiritual energy.
Apart from the pigeon that flew into my glass window.
Yeah, but then not always the brightest pigeons.
You feel like that sometimes.
It was trying to transition into your front room.
There's a nice pigeon shaped splat.
Did you get the wing?
Yes,
the wing streaks on the glass.
He was right. I checked. A little dazed, but it was okay.
Yeah, tougher than they look.
Yeah. Not the most blessed, are they? With brain cells, bless them. I work with pigeon. I do work with pigeon. I think they're fascinating. But yeah.
Well, if it makes the world of pigeons feel any better, I've actually seen a human being do that. I used to work in a shop, and it had a big plate glass window, and I've seen somebody walk towards the door, misjudge it, and just walk so hard into the glass window that they literally bounced off like cartoon style and just went down like a tree. We ended up moving a table in front of the window because we were so worried about it happening again.
Yeah, so they were not so different.
Yeah, it's not so different after all.
Now you've separated it's the magic of birds is the title, isn't it? Now you've separated the birds into categories. Do you think the actual groups have specific magical energies as a group?
In some ways, yes. I think the way I split it up in the book is I've tried to just make it really accessible. So for somebody who's coming at it with only a minimal knowledge of birds, I didn't want to make it really encyclopedic and bird by bird by bird by bird. Because I think most people, unless they've already got a vested interest in birds or they've got specific birds that they really connect to, will probably think, right, these are songbirds, these are water birds, these are birds of prey. And I think that's quite common. And the categories that I've picked are not scientific categories by any stretch, although within those categories I might go into that at times, for example, like corvids within the scavengers category and things like that. But yeah, I think certainly from a beginner's perspective, if you're getting to know the birds, then it's good to know, right, all these are songbirds. So you might see all these songbirds active between dawn and dusk, and maybe that's when you can connect with that energy. Maybe you can connect with the liminality of that, of awakening and bursting into song and feeling that energy flowing through you. And similarly with the scavengers, the category of the scavengers as a whole, you can dive into that energy of feeling a bit misunderstood, doing something that's really necessary but perhaps isn't very good, in the sense of it doesn't feel good perhaps, or it's difficult challenges, things like that. And then as you get to know those categories, and as you get to know the energy overall of this group of birds does this group of birds does that, then maybe you can start to connect to individual birds. And I don't think there's any one approach into this. I think some people might come at it going, well, actually, I already love the red kite, for example. I'm already really connected to that energy. But then maybe they'll go, oh, it's really cool to learn about other birds within that scavenging category, that bird of prey category, because obviously it fits into both. And I think that's important to note as well, that some birds will cross those categories as well. You know, you can have birds that are both scavengers and birds of prey, birds that make beautiful sounds but also live in the water, and so on and so forth. But yeah, I think it's helpful from a starting point, but also perhaps from a ritual perspective or a magic perspective, you can just draw on the generalized energy of what you associate with that group of birds as well, and what it means to you.
Brilliant. That makes perfect sense.